Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have another pregnancy update for you. I'm actually combining 2 weeks in this one video because time has just gotten away from me and I missed my 22 weekly update video. So I'm going to combine 22 weeks and 23 weeks pregnant symptoms and updates in this one video. So I always write down my symptoms in my notes per week, and I have to because honestly I'll forget it if I don't write it down. So for 22 weeks I had a lot of new symptoms that I didn't have in my 20 or 21 weeks. So I said that I felt a lot heavier on the bottom. That was the first week where I actually started feeling heavy in my belly area. Like up until 21 weeks I felt perfectly normal. Obviously I look bigger, you know, belly and face and everything has just started to puff up because of like the fluid retention and all that, but I didn't feel heavy. Like I didn't feel like it was weighing me down just yet. But once I hit 22 weeks, I feel like a couple days into my 22nd week, my belly started feeling really heavy. Like when I walk or get up, I'd have to like kind of hoist my belly with me because it just felt like weight there. And he was only, I think, a pound and some ounces, so it's not a lot, but it just feels so much heavier because obviously you have more fluid, you have your uterus, you have the placenta, so there's extra weight that's not the baby that just started feeling heavy in my 22nd week. Another new symptom was that I was getting a lot of headaches, like I was getting sick. Like that first day you wake up when you have a cold or the flu, your head just feels really heavy, really foggy, and you have like this light unbalanced headache. That's what I was like getting multiple days in a row, and I wasn't sick. I never got sick, thank goodness, but I just kept getting the headaches and that heaviness feeling in my head every time that I woke up, which was kind of weird and kind of random. I didn't read anything about it that I should be expecting a symptom like that, so that was kind of odd. But I think after like 5 or 6 days that went away, but I just felt like that was a really odd symptom to get. But it also could be that I was waking up a lot. I know I mentioned in my 21 week update that sleeping was getting a little more uncomfortable because I have to sleep on my sides now. And 22 weeks started getting really uncomfortable because not only was sleeping on my sides getting uncomfortable, but now that I'm feeling heavier in my belly area, like all the weight is just pressed on one side. I just wake up a lot so that I can flip to the other side, because if I lay on one side too long, everything on that side starts to hurt. It goes numb, it gets achy, like it's just really, really uncomfortable. So I do notice that I wake up a lot to switch positions, or if I find myself on my back, I'm like, crap, I have to roll to the side. 22 weeks was also when I started getting like bleeding gums, which is totally common in pregnancy because you are now doubling your volume of blood. So obviously your mouth is a very sensitive area, your gums are very sensitive, and I wasn't brushing any harder, I wasn't using a different toothpaste. I know this is totally disgusting, but I just noticed like a little bit of blood every time I rinse my mouth and, you know, brush my teeth. But all the apps that I was reading says that it's really, really normal, especially during that week and in the second trimester. Like bleeding gums is a very normal, common pregnancy symptom, so I wasn't too worried about it. It stopped when I turned 23 weeks. I don't think it even lasted more than 4 days. And another symptom that I started noticing was that I was feeling really hot all the time. I am someone who is cold all the time. Like in the summer, I can still have my little heater running like by my feet because I'm just cold all the time. I don't like being cold. I get really cranky when I'm cold. And I've always been like that. Even when I was younger, I remember throwing my like comforter over my heating vent on the floor. Like back even when I was in middle school, just throwing the blanket over the comforter and getting underneath it, and just the hot air blowing up from the vent just created this like cocoon of warmth. And that's just how I spent most of my days because I don't like the cold. Like some people like to feel chilly and a little bit of like coldness to their skin. I don't like that. I like to be nice and toasty. So I did notice that like when I sleep, I wasn't using the blanket anymore, which is very not like me at all. Even my husband started to notice. He's like, are you hot at night? You weren't using the blanket. I came in and your blanket was off. And I usually have like 2 or 3 blankets on me. And I'm still feeling like that to this day. Like it's 55 degrees outside and I'm in a cropped tank top, some leggings, and I'm feeling hot right now. I mean, granted, I'm in front of these lights, but I'm just hot all the time, which is kind of a nice change, I guess, because now that we're entering winter, I'll have my heat running less and just feeling a little bit more comfortable, not being so cold in the winter. So those were all the new symptoms I felt. I do want to report that 2 good symptoms did come out of week 22. One, I had less heartburn. In my previous pregnancy update, I was talking about like fire exploding in my chest and my throat when heartburn occurred. But now that I've cut back on the spicy food, I am still eating a little bit of spicy food, but it's not like adding something to every meal every time I eat. So heartburn has gotten a lot better. I haven't had really bad heartburn for the past 2, maybe 3 weeks now, which has been a nice relief because that was just really, really painful and really uncomfortable. And the second positive pregnancy symptom that came out of 22 weeks was that I started noticing my hair falling out less. When I leave the shower, there is hair everywhere. I just shed a lot. I have long hair, so it looks like more hair than it is. But I noticed that when I get out of the shower, and I usually brush my hair into my tub so that it's not all over my floor. When I brush my hair after the shower, I maybe see 1, maybe 2 strands of hair, as opposed to like 7 to 10 every time I brush my hair. So I have been reading that your hair is starting to like get fuller because you experience less hair loss, and then once you deliver your baby, you lose all your hair again. So I'm a little bit worried about the postpartum hair loss, but right now I'm just gonna enjoy having a fuller head of hair and my hair growing a lot faster. So that was everything that happened in week 22, which is quite a lot of new symptoms, I feel like. So entering week 23, as I mentioned, I didn't have any more headaches or any more bleeding gum when I brushed my teeth. So that was a really nice kind of change. I did started feeling tingly hands. I know I mentioned this before, but it wasn't that same kind of tingle where it went numb. Now it's my right hand. Before it was my left hand. I feel like I have carpal tunnel in my right hand. It feels very achy, like really, really stretched out and achy, and it hurts, and it goes all the way down to like this part of my forearm. And I don't do anything strenuous. I mean, I am on emails all day for work, but I feel like I've been doing the same job for 4 to 5 years now, that it shouldn't be something new that I'm experiencing. And then I did read that you might be experiencing carpal tunnel in this like stage of pregnancy. So that made me feel a little bit better that it wasn't something outside of pregnancy causing this. But it's kind of gotten a little bit better. Every once in a while I do have to like stretch my hands out because it starts to feel really tight and achy and sore. And then it stretches down to the forearm, and then it starts hurting really bad. So I give it like a good shake. Also at 23 weeks, I started noticing his kicks getting a lot stronger to where I could see it from the outside. Up to 23 weeks, I think like 18 to 22 weeks, I would obviously feel him kick from inside, and that's always been really fun, and it still is. Or if I put my hand over my belly, or my husband puts his hand over my belly, we could feel him kick. But at 23 weeks, his kicks are getting so strong that you can see like my skin stretching. I don't see any part of like his body yet, like if it's his foot or his elbow or his hand causing the motion, but I can definitely see from my peripherals, like my stomach just stretching out like whenever he gives it a good bump. So that's been kind of crazy to see. I mean, soon enough, we're gonna see him literally rolling in there and seeing imprints of his little limbs and his feet and his hands, which is gonna be really crazy and exciting. 23 week, I started getting like, not pregnancy cravings. Throughout this whole pregnancy, I never had crazy cravings like ice cream and pickles or anything. I just eat more, obviously. But 22 and 23 weeks, I just craved bananas all the time. Like we always have to have at least 2 bunches of bananas stocked in the house, because out of nowhere, I love bananas and I can't get enough of them, to the point where I have to stop myself from eating more than 1 or 2 a day, because I could literally sit down and eat a bunch of bananas in one sitting. And I was never really a huge fan of bananas before. Like I would eat it with my oatmeal or my yogurt, but I never like craved just peeling a banana and eating it whole like that. But lately I have so much excitement for the morning because I have my banana in the morning. I'll eat it, you know, by itself, or I'll put it in my cereal, my granola. I like look forward to my banana of the day. It's so delicious, and we are just always stocked up on banana, which is a good craving. And another craving I had in my 23 weeks was a good toasted peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I make it with whole wheat bread. I toast it just a little bit, and then I use the organic peanut butter and organic strawberry jam, and it's like the best, coziest, like warm snack ever. It hits all my spots. It's sweet, it's chewy, it's gooey, it's a little bit toasted, and it's so good. I literally have one as a snack like right before my lunch every day, and I have not gotten sick of it at all. To this day, I still love a good PB&J. So that is it, guys. That was all the pregnancy symptoms that I experienced in 22 weeks and 23 weeks. Again, if you're pregnant around the same time I am, share all your pregnancy symptoms below. I love hearing your stories and seeing if your symptoms matches my symptoms or if we're having completely different pregnancy experiences. It's been really fun chatting with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this pregnancy update. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.